What's up, y'all? I'm KC.
And I'm Tyler, and this is another Big Buck Breakdown from the Element Podcast.
Brought to you by Exodus Trail Cameras. All right, guys, on the show today, we have got Tony Ball. He is a Colorado resident who is a straight stone cold killer. Tony, what's happening, man?
No, not much. Just getting organized here from the end of elk season, trying to figure my life out, plan a wedding, and kill some more stuff.
You're fixing to start the season of seasons, sir. It's going to be the best of all.
Yeah, don't kill your marriage, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll try not. Yeah, marriage is just starting. So, the wife has an elk tag. So, you know what? Maybe we'll just kick it off with a bang. Kill her first bull, and we'll just smooth sail right into 50 years of happiness and as much hunting as I want.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I love it, dude. Is that actually the honeymoon trip? Is that elk tag she has, or y'all got something planned in between there?
No, we were supposed to go to New Zealand on a honeymoon, and then with this Corona stuff, that's got pushed out. So she's kind of left it up in the air, whatever we kind of want to do. She's a huge fly fisherman, and we've gotten her into hunting the past couple of years, so she's all about Alaska. So
that's cool.
I'm kind of looking at maybe doing something like that. But
It's going to be getting cold up there soon, isn't it?
We eloped in July, and what's that?
It's going to be getting cold up there soon, isn't it? In Alaska.
Oh, yeah. This is going to have to be next year.
Yeah, I got
after.
you. See, I'm from Texas, so that's like the first thing we think about.
Temperature.
Weather. Nope.
Yeah. Snow? What's that?
Yeah, you guys head back south once elk season's done up here in the Rockies. You get out of this cold stuff.
Snowbirds, man.
Oh, man. Let me tell you, we hit some of that snow that was kind of residual from, that second week blizzard that happened. It was like we camped in an ice box, man. I mean, it was like the sun never hit where our tents were, and it was just freezing cold. But, surprisingly enough, usually we come back to Texas and it's still sweltering, and it wasn't this year. It's been pretty mild. It's been a good September for us, but been a stellar September for you, man. You absolutely smoked a stud there in Colorado, dude. That's a great bull.
Bull as opposed to buck.
That's right. So this is normally a big buck breakdown, but we know that we kind of know the backstory on this, and we had to get you on to kind of talk about this thing, man. So tell us about that hunt for that bull.
Yeah, appreciate it. No, I was just the lucky one that was able to release an arrow. I was hunting with a couple of longtime hunting buddies, brothers, Nate and Dan McCorkle. Stone cold killers from up here that kind of took me under their wing, I don't know, many years ago. And we were hunting as a trio. We had 3 elk tags and kind of got into some bulls. We were in the backcountry quite a few miles, 6 or 7 miles. Got into some elk the evening of day 1 and day 2. And then, man, we were grinding day 3 and 4 and weren't really seeing a bunch, weren't really getting into them, and decided to go back to where we were hunting day 2. It was kind of this long aspen drainage that kind of went up above timberline and turned into beetle kill and had this really awesome bench with a ton of wallows and just, the elk had been living in there for all summer, it seemed like. Ton of sign and sun started coming up, started hearing, a couple bugles on the ridge. And before we knew it, a bull piped off, I don't know, 90 to 100 yards away, and my buddy Nate dropped back, and Dan and I were out front. I kind of call it the triangle of death.
I like it.
It's fun when you got 3 guys and you got a bull that wants to play, because someone's going to get a shot, or someone's going to miss, or we're gonna kill something.
Yeah.
So Nate was back there, and man, we're huge proponents of Chris Rowe and what he teaches, and a couple lost cow calls, and a bull bugled 80 yards from me and a bull bugled 80 yards from Dan, and it was kind of like a race to see who could shoot a bull first. And Nate was back there just giving all the assembly mews and calf calls that he could, and within like 45 seconds I just hear an arrow get let go and a bunch of crashing, and Dan had shot his bull at like 10 yards.
Oh my.
So he shoots that bull, and my bull, the one that was coming in, towards me, he swung downwind and busted. So we were hooping and hollering, trying to stay quiet. And kind of seemed like as the morning kept progressing, this herd that we had kind of to our west, and then the herd that was back to the south, they almost met right in this bottom where the aspens transitioned to dark timber. And it was all of a sudden, there was 6, 7, 8 bulls bugling, a couple herd bulls. I mean, everyone was just trying to grab that hot cow. I think this was September, let me think about this, 19th. So, it'd been pretty slow up until then. And yeah, there must have been a hot cow or two, because there was some unbelievable bugling. We started shadowing the herd. We were going to sit there and cut up Dan's bull, and we're like, what are we doing? Like, we could kill another one. This is nuts. So with our packs, Nate and I did, and Dan were like, well, you're all-time caller, dude. You're tagged out. And slipped up in there and we're shadowing the one herd that was kind of closest to us. And at this point, day 5, man, it was pretty much browning down. I mean, I had wanted to kill a 6-point, but I also wanted to fill the freezer, and with a couple more days of hunting, it was on. So we got in there and kind of had a little bit of a bugle fest with a bull that ended up being my bull that come in, and he just come in super timid and slow, and what really changed him is once we went from super excited cow calls, or Dan did, to kind of more relaxed, sweet, sexy cow calls, and some bugles and some raking. It kind of changed. He was more defensive, and then he was kind of more passive and just kind of come in real nice and slow. He was actually feeding kind of on his way in, and I had a couple openings, and he turned uphill to get on the same level as Dan, on the same elevation. And when he did, I come to full draw, and the stupid thing stopped behind a bunch of timber. So, of course, I mean, you guys know how it is. You're sitting there, you start shaking, you're doubting if he's going to step through. Do you let down? Do you not? And he took another step and a half, and I guessed him right about 32, maybe, 30, 32, and he was like 25. So I let that arrow go, and it hit him low. I think, probably bottom of the heart, and he spun and ran downhill. And as he was running away, I was like, oh yeah, he does have 6 points. It looks good to me.
And just like Tony was talking about, man, sometimes when you're on a big bull in the mountains, you have to draw back and hold your draw for a long time before you get your shot. And whenever you're doing that, you need a comfortable release that you are comfortable with, that you are confident in, and is going to perform to the best of your ability and never fail you. And that's exactly what Cobra releases are. I love mine. I've got a little hook style release where I don't even have to look down at my dig loop. I just hook that thing through, draw back, and I'm locked in and ready to go to shoot a big bull or a big buck. So go check out CobraArchery.com.
He ran down there, and it was a super open kind of creek bed. Well, there was still a bunch of elk, above him, and he was, kind of went down there and bedded pretty close to the creek. So I had all that noise to cover, if I was going to sneak in and try to get another arrow in him or what. And, kind of like my dad and grandpa would say, keep shooting until there's 4 legs in the air. So I snuck down there, and he was kind of going in and out with a heart shot. He was hurting pretty good, and able to get another one in him. And it was weird, I shot him again right behind the shoulder, and he sat there for like 3 Mississippi, like nothing had even happened. And then got up and did the death run. Well, he ran out of sight, and I was kind of like, what just happened? Like he just acted like he wasn't wounded, and I could see my arrow, was hanging out on the opposite side shoulder, and then it fell out halfway through. So when he went out of sight, kind of up the creek, we were like, well, let's give him some time. And so we're just sitting there and kind of counting the minutes, and I don't know, 20-ish minutes had gone by, and another bull bugled. And this bull, he come out of those aspen, and I think he was just kind of following the herd, just, raghorn bull, just kind of wanting some love. So we set up real quick and made a couple cow calls, and Nate was, he was the only one left that hadn't shot. Well, he shoots a longbow. He was pretty bloodthirsty. So this bull he come in pretty good, but just kind of skirted Nate, and he come into 5 yards from me where I was cow calling. I knew my thermals were going to get him at some point. Well, the bull was like in between me and Nate at one point, and I could see him sneaking through the timber. Right, like the bull didn't swing downwind like a lot of elk do to catch scent. He just comes straight in. So all of a sudden, I'm laying there like I am in the firing line if he lets an arrow go. Like I don't know if I spook the elk out of here and ruin this opportunity, or duck for cover, or cover my vitals, because I might have a 250 grain cutthroat coming my way any second. So luckily the bull ended up spooking. I don't think Nate was too happy about it, but we all kind of joined back. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And we all sat down, let's calm our nerves and see what happens. And I stood up on my knees to get something out of my pack, and Nate's bull, nice little 4x5 bull, was raking a tree in the sunlight. And I was like, there's another one right there. So I slid behind Nate and made some soft cow calls, and he stroked that bull like 33 yards, and I don't think he ran 40 yards. I mean, double lunged him. I've never seen a bull die so fast. He was shooting that longbow, and I think they're 250 grain cutthroat broadheads from Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear there in Denver, and just pummeled that thing. And he died so fast, and just to watch him go down in sight was just insane. So we were all in shock there at that point. Man. Just hugs and high fives, and what did we just do? And you're on the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. And we walked up to his bull and admiring it, and I looked over my shoulder, and my bull was laying 50, 60 yards away up on that hill, just
golly, dude.
Darn near dead. So
that's nuts. That's like the old days where you hear about guys just mountain men going up and stacking them up. That's like what y'all did with 3 bulls. That's nuts.
Yeah, we took a picture at Dan's bull laying there. We took a picture of him at like 7:15, and when we were standing over Nate's bull, it was 8:30, and we knew, for us to have 3 bulls shot, died pretty much in sight, we were all just like, this is never going to happen again. Like, Nate was like, it didn't matter how many bulls were bugling. I had to shoot that bull for us to kill all 3 bulls, in an hour. It's just never going to, just got to take advantage of the opportunity. And we were super blessed that day that it was us.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And quite honestly, that's never going to happen to anybody, much less y'all. That is crazy. Dude, what a story to tell to your kids and your grandkids and everything for forever, man. It's just a freaking awesome thing. But I gotta ask, the pack out on 3 bulls from the backcountry, how'd that go?
That's a good question. Well, we're in no shape or means the hardcore fitness dudes. We tried to stay in shape, but there was no way we were going to get 1, let alone 3 bulls out of the backcountry. So we had some good friends and an outfitter lined up with horses.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and there was no way we could hunt that country without it, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we dang near killed ourselves. We cut meat for like 5 hours, hung it in trees, getting it cooled. And we had a super nice overcast day that day, which was kind of unlike the rest of the latter half of September's been in Colorado. It's just been hot. It's been clear. But we had a great day that day, got meat hung, and then we packed. Nate and I's bull was like 0.7 miles from a meadow we thought the horses could get to. And we kind of gambled on it, but we were like, I think we can cut trail through kind of the aspen as it goes down back, to a main trail. And we packed down our 2 bulls to there. And then Dan, he's a crazy CrossFit dude. He packed his old bull out by himself, but it was 300 yards away from that meadow, so he got it done. He got it done pretty quick. Yeah, so we had all 3 bulls there right about dark. So we were done right around that 8:30, 8:15 mark or whatever, and then we started walking back to camp that night at 8:30, right as it was getting dark.
Oh, that's a long but rewarding day, that's for sure.
Yeah. It was.
I've
we shared some whiskey and I don't think we ate ribeyes. No, we ate ribeyes the next night because the outfitter was able to bring us up some good food.
Nice.
But Yeah, we were ready for some sleep for sure.
I would imagine, man. I would for sure. It's I've never had the privilege of killing an elk in the morning. I've killed 2 bulls, and they've both been at last light. So you're cutting up until like 11 p.m., which is kind of eerie and kind of cool at the same time. I'm not really that bear scared, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But
Black bears.
Yeah,
grizzlies are a different story, but that's why we hunt in Colorado. So
exactly.
But it's neat to cut up a bull and just be sitting there cutting up elk, having a good time, and then you just hear bugles popping off. It's it's kind of a surreal feeling. So that is pretty awesome, man.
Yeah. So is this like when something like this happens? Do you guys look at it like, man, this could happen in any unit that we hunt? Or is this something where you're like, okay, there's something that we need to come back here for?
Man, it's tough not to say we need to draw this tag every single year,
right?
Or we need to pay an amount of money that our wives will slap us for a landowner voucher or something like that.
Yeah,
because it was incredible, but we explored a lot of country, and obviously didn't have that sort of a encounter. It was just a mix of kind of the factors. I mean, the moon was good. The equinox was right there. 2 different herds coming together, a hot cow, and just that magical morning that you dream about, for September. And it happened to happen to us. I think you could definitely do it, in other units, especially in Colorado, just with the amount of elk we have. None of these bulls were giant, 350, 360, 330 bulls, but just the amount of, bull to cow ratio, I think, is huge factor in all of those stars, lined up for us. Mm-hmm. And we were able to capitalize. And what was, I think, the coolest part of the whole scenario was, Nate was calling for Dan's bull, Dan was calling for my bull, and I was calling for Nate's bull.
Yeah.
And it was all like, you know what? I killed the best bull, but it wasn't because I did anything special. It's because my caller did his job and he walked in front of me,
Yeah.
And any single, any one of us, would have been able to shoot, the bull that I killed, and vice versa on any of the other bulls. I mean, they had some opportunities, on day 2 on, a 340, 350 bull, and it just doesn't it just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So it was a very, just a very, awesome experience just to be able to be there with, some of the awesome dudes that been able to hunt with and get to know and then enjoy the experience just as much as you do.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
For sure, man. So, you said y'all actually came back to that place after going, kind of looking for elk elsewhere. What changed to make it so good? Had y'all overlooked elk, or had they moved in because of hunter pressure or something? Or why did that spot suddenly get good?
Yeah, we knew there were some hunters on a distant ridge that had filled, the outfitter had said, and we going in there, we pretty much blew it up on day 2. I mean, we hunted the dark timber hard. We went to, we like to call it born and raised it. We went through the dark timber and trolled and bugled, and we did anything we could to wake a bull up and piss him off. But just the scent that we left in there, taking a nap, hanging out, we just felt like we should give it a couple days. And all this other country looked great too. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we spent day 4, the day before all this craziness happened. We didn't see an elk or hear an elk. Mm. We saw bighorn sheep, we saw deer, we saw moose, but we didn't see an elk. And I mean, we were like, man, maybe we made a mistake. Like, maybe we need to get extracted ASAP. This isn't going to happen. And then a drop of a hat, like you guys know, when you're least expecting it, you walk into something like that where some elk had been pushed in, the cow, there's a cow in heat, and here we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like the 19th, man. I killed one of my bulls on the 19th. And
really?
You know how it is. It's if you kill something on a day, that means you like that day.
Yep.
Nobody's ever like, I killed a bull that day, but it's not my favorite. It's not really how it
yeah,
goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been a last Friday of the season guy forever.
Really?
Yeah, they just make me earn it every single year, and just have big bulls just piss me off and break my heart all season long. And then when it's browning down, the last Friday of the season just seems to do it for me. So I was like, well, I'm not going to kill a bull. We're not hunting the last Friday of the season this year.
Well, you made it happen either way. You didn't even need that Friday luck. That's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, dude, that's such an awesome story, man. It's really, really cool. And your season's really not over, right? It's just kind of beginning with that elk
it's just
hunt.
kind of beginning. Yeah, so we live in northeastern Colorado, and like I was telling you guys earlier, my grandpa homesteaded here in the early 1900s, and it's been passed down to the family, 4th generation now. My cousin Cody Ball manages and runs the ranch now with his mom, and my grandma still lives out there. But we have like what we call, super fun, awesome antelope camp coming up this weekend. Get a bunch of good friends and family around with rifle antelope tags and see how many prairie carp we can stack up opening morning.
That's funny.
There's a couple of us that try to shoot good ones, but if anything, it's a fun time to get together. And then, my wife's got a first season rifle elk tag here in Colorado, and then that's the next 2 weekends. And we get married October 16th, which is a Friday. And maybe do a little fishing that weekend if she'll go with me.
Nice.
And I've never fished that much in the fall because we're always hunting. So there's a ton of good fishing. We're going to get married in Laramie, Wyoming. So
cool, man.
We have that, and then it's deer season, man. It's time to get after some mule deer. And I guess a few of those whitetails if you're into that sort of thing.
We kind of like those pretty good. But this week we're going to be equal opportunity abusers. Either one is going to go down for us. We're heading to South Dakota, and it's just a deer tag. So whatever we can stick, especially since we didn't have a lot of luck in elk season, like our minimums are dropping. It's kind of I don't live this way, but from what I hear, like, if you're a single person and you're out on the town as the night gets later, you don't.
More beers are consumed.
Right. That's right. So I'm in the waning hours of the night right now. If he's got a forky,
we're at the bottom of the scale.
That's right, man.
As we mentioned, we're heading up to South Dakota right now, and for us, a lot of times on these out-of-state trips, if they're extended, say like 5, 6, 7 days, like this should be, what we'll do is we'll hang a trail camera early on in the trip and hopefully be able to come back and reference the data that we get off of that. And the trail cameras we've been using the last couple of years, last several years actually, have been Exodus trail cameras. They perform awesome, guys. They have one of the best warranties out there, maybe the best warranty out there. And because of that, we have confidence to put those trail cameras on public land where they do stand a pretty high chance of getting stolen. But with their warranty, that's no big deal. So if you hunt public land or you just want some high quality imagery out of your trail cameras, go check out ExodusOutdoorGear.com.
Is there any factor of you guys aren't bringing home elk meat, so the wives are like, well, then why do you go hunting?
Absolutely, dude. It's like my wife's favorite thing to eat is elk. She loves it, and I've been feeding her wild hog, and she's actually kind of turning on that. She kind of likes it, but you can't beat elk, and
she likes it well done, so she won't be able to tell the difference in that and mule deer probably.
No.
Yeah, I just get one of those speed goats.
Dakota, man, we've hunted a lot of plain mule deer and in corn-fed mule deer and whitetail, and I don't think you can tell a difference.
Yeah. I've kind of wondered that.
I would imagine.
I've eaten a few mule deer from up in the high country stuff. We're not really high, but that live in dark timber and stuff, and they kind of tend to have a little taste to them, it seems. But I would bet it's just like a corn-fed cow. Like they're gonna taste pretty good. So hopefully so, man. Well, if people want to keep up with what you got going on and all the stuff that you keep, slocking and laying down, man, where can they check out what you got going on?
I'm on Instagram, Tony G Ball, just all one word.
Golf Ball? Is your name Golf?
Not golf. No, that was a good high school joke. I'm sure you guys can put together some words to form a nickname.
Goofball.
I might spitball. Might name my daughter Crystal. Just all your stuff.
Yeah. Well, I just became a dad recently, so I have to throw out some dad jokes. It's just the way it goes, man. So yeah. Well, cool. If you're listening, go follow Tony. He has a pretty cool page. You can see that giant bull that he he shot this year with his buddies. And you actually posted a pretty cool picture the other day where you could see, I think it was Dan's bull in the background. Is that right? Or somebody's?
Nate's bull in the background, and it's he did a panorama. Nate did when I was sitting there, admiring my bull, and you can look close and see his bull laying down there in the creek. It was, and trust me, we didn't drag it into focus. I mean, you can't drag an elk anyway.
That's right. I thought Dan was a CrossFitter. They can do anything, can't they?
That's true. You might have put it on his shoulders if I asked him to.
Well, if he didn't post it on Instagram, he's not a true CrossFitter, right?
Right.
Oh, jeez.
They got to make sure everybody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get some hate mail for that.
Everybody knows we're kidding. It's all love.
Well, we're whitetail guys too, so we have a lot of guys who like duplex cookies and stuff.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Reese's. That was the big thing today. Is lots of Reese's. So, anyways, Tony, thanks so much for coming on and telling us the story, dude. Good luck the rest of the season. You got a lot of tags to fill, and I hope you get them all. And y'all have fun in Laramie on the wedding and the fishing trip, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks again, and really enjoyed what you guys got going on. So we'll be talking soon, I'm sure, and good luck in South Dakota.
Man, what an awesome story about a big buck. Guys, we want to say a big thanks to Exodus Trail Cameras and Cobra Archery for being a part of this Big Buck Breakdown.
For sure, man. And also, if you want to check out what we do on a daily basis, maybe even see some of these big bucks, go to Instagram and follow us at The Element Wild. And then also subscribe on YouTube to keep up with what we're doing throughout the season. And subscribe on the podcast. And remember, this is your element.
Live in it.
I'll swim across and meet you on the other side. I'm not sure why we even have to fight. We grew up in the same situation. The river between us caused a lot of frustration. Brothers, let's forgive and forget.